Losing your edge doesn't mean losing your manhood. Hi, I'm Emily. I'm here to help men over 50 reclaim their vitality one natural step at a time. Let's talk openly about what really matters. Maybe you've noticed some changes lately. You don't feel quite as sharp in the morning. The energy that used to carry you through the day now fades by mid-afternoon. Your interest in intimacy, not gone, but quieter. And there's this subtle nagging question that creeps in now and then. Is this just how it is now? I want you to know, if that sounds familiar, you're not alone. Testosterone. The hormone that supports male vitality after 50 naturally declines with age. That's not your fault. It doesn't mean you're broken, but it can affect how you feel physically, emotionally, even spiritually. Fatigue, irritability, low motivation, changes in intimacy. They can pile up slowly until one day you wake up and think, where did my old self go? The good news? You're not powerless. Your body still knows how to support itself. It just needs the right signals. This video isn't about quick fixes or miracle supplements. It's about 5 natural science-backed ways to help your body boost testosterone through how you move, eat, sleep, and think. Quiet changes that restore something deeper than numbers on a lab test: your sense of self. If this speaks to you, hit like and subscribe, but only if you truly want more content like this. And if you're up for it, drop a comment with your age or where you're tuning in from. I love seeing this community grow. Let's begin with the first secret one that most men overlook, even though it all starts here. Secret number 1. Your brain sends the first signal. You might think testosterone is all about the body muscles, stamina, maybe even libido. But the real story begins much higher up. Inside your brain, there's a tiny control center called the hypothalamus. It acts like a mission commander signaling the pituitary gland to produce hormones, which in turn tell your testes, hey, it's time to make testosterone. That chain reaction. It starts with a whisper from your mind. But what happens when that whisper gets drowned out by noise? Stress, fear, shame, even years of self-doubt, all those things can cloud your internal signal. It's like trying to tune into a radio station, but all you hear is static. And when the signal weakens, so does your body's response. Testosterone slows down, not because your body can't, but because it's not getting the green light. Let me tell you about Gary. Gary's 62, a former high school coach, tough guy, big heart. When he came to one of my workshops, he confessed something quietly. I haven't felt like myself in years. I still wake up early, I still try to eat right, but I just don't feel like a man anymore. He didn't say it with anger, he said it with tired eyes. We talked not about workouts or protein, but about stress. Gary was caring for his wife, who had early-stage dementia. His days were filled with silent worry, his nights even worse. He was holding his breath emotionally for years. And here's what we uncovered. His body wasn't the problem. His nervous system was stuck in survival mode. You see, when your brain thinks you're in danger or even constant strain, it puts hormone production on pause. Why make testosterone if your body believes there's a fire to put out every day? So the first step isn't about doing more. It's about telling your brain you're safe now. How do you do that? You start with rituals that restore calm. 5 minutes of quiet breathing in the morning. Standing outside with sunlight on your face. Journaling one honest thought before bed. These aren't just self-care trends. They're biological messages. They tell your hypothalamus, you're okay. Let's begin again. Think of your mind like a command tower. It can't launch any missions if the lights are flickering and the crew is panicking. You have to restore order before you rebuild strength. Gary didn't change his life overnight, but he did start walking without his phone. He started saying no to things that drained him. He let himself laugh again with friends with his grandkids. 3 months later, he came back and said, "I don't know my numbers, but I feel awake again." That's the point. Supporting testosterone isn't about chasing youth. It's about calming the storm inside so your body can do what it's designed to do. So if you've been feeling stuck, heavy, or numb, start here. With your breath, with your thoughts, with a little more grace for the man you are today. Your hormones are listening. What do you want them to hear? Secret number 2. Muscle isn't vanity, it's vitality. Here's a truth no one told you at 30. At 50, your muscle isn't just for looks, it's your hormonal lifeline. After midlife, your testosterone naturally declines about 1% per year. That might not sound like much, but over a decade it adds up, especially if you're inactive. And here's the twist, most men don't realize, muscle isn't just something you build with testosterone, it also helps your body make more of it. Let's break it down. When you challenge your muscles, whether that's through lifting, carrying, pushing, or even stretching with resistance, you send a powerful message to your body, I'm still active, I'm still needed. That message tells your brain and your endocrine system to keep producing the hormones that support strength recovery and, yes, testosterone. You're not telling your body to be young, you're telling it to stay relevant. Now I know what you might be thinking. I'm not trying to look like a bodybuilder, Emily. I've got bad knees, a stiff back, and no time for the gym. I hear you. That's why I want to introduce you to Tom. Tom is 68. He used to be a diesel mechanic, big hands, quiet guy. After retiring, he got into a slump. His shoulders sagged. His belly grew. He told me, I feel like I've gone soft in more ways than one. But gyms weren't his thing. So we started small. We gave Tom 2 resistance bands and a timer, 10 minutes a day, 3 times a week. He'd loop the band under his feet, pull gently with his arms. Wall push-ups, chair squats. Nothing fancy. Within a month, his posture improved. Within 3, his energy picked up. His wife said he even smiled more often. Not because of the muscle, but because of what the movement reminded him, I'm not done yet. And biologically, he wasn't. Muscle tissue acts like a hormone sponge. The more you move it, the more sensitive your cells become to testosterone. That means the testosterone your body is producing actually works better. Even better, exercise reduces something called SHBG, sex hormone binding globulin. It's a protein that clings to free testosterone, making it inactive. When you train your muscles, SHBG drops, freeing up more usable T in your system. So no, you don't need to deadlift 200 pounds. But you do need to send your body the signal, we're still in the game. Start small. Use your own body weight. Try slow push-ups against a wall. Rise from a chair without using your hands. Walk up a hill with intention. Feel your body resist and rise. Each rep is a reminder your strength isn't gone. It's been waiting for you to call it back. And here's something I tell every man who doubts himself. It's not about looking young, it's about feeling capable. Moving through your day with power, steadiness, and control. That's what testosterone supports, and that's what muscle helps restore. So if you've been sitting more, slouching more, or feeling weaker lately, don't punish yourself. Just choose one movement today that says, I still matter, because you do. Secret number 3, sleep is your hormone workshop. You might think of sleep as just rest. But for your hormones, especially testosterone, it's prime working hours. Most men don't realize this. The majority of your testosterone is made while you're asleep. Not just any sleep, deep sleep. The kind where your body enters its most restful, restorative state. That's when your pituitary gland releases the signals that say, let's produce testosterone. Let's rebuild. But here's the catch: as we age, deep sleep becomes harder to reach. And if you're waking up at 3 a.m. tossing and turning, or just not feeling refreshed in the morning, you're not just tired. You're missing out on the biological conditions your body needs to stay vital. Let me introduce you to Carl. Carl is 71. He served in the Navy, ran a small business, raised 4 kids. But when he hit his late 60s, he told me I sleep like a cat on alert, light broken and ready to pounce at the smallest noise. He chalked it up to aging, but behind that sleeplessness, a slow drain of hormones. Carl had all the signs of low T brain fog, irritability, lack of interest in intimacy. Not because his body stopped caring, but because it never got the chance to restore itself at night. See, sleep isn't a passive state. It's more like a workshop. At night, your body sends in the cleanup crew, repairing cells, lowering inflammation, balancing blood sugar. And somewhere around 2 to 5 a.m., testosterone production peaks. But only if you're in the right stage of sleep. No deep sleep, no hormonal magic. So how do you reclaim it? First, check your rhythm. Are you going to bed and waking up at roughly the same time, even on weekends? That's your first foundation. Second, look at your light. If you're scrolling on your phone or watching late-night TV under bright lights, your brain stays in day mode. That suppresses melatonin, the sleep hormone, that tells your body it's time to shift into recovery. Carl changed 2 things. He began dimming his lights after 8 p.m. and replaced his late-night news with a warm shower and 10 minutes of reading. That's it. Within a week, he started waking up without an alarm. Within a month, he noticed something deeper. His mood lifted. His focus returned. His wife told him he looked more present, because sleep gave his body permission to be whole again. Here's one more insight. Poor sleep raises cortisol, your stress hormone. High cortisol competes with testosterone. They're like 2 workers fighting for space on the same assembly line. When cortisol is high, testosterone gets pushed aside. So when you choose rest, you're not being lazy, you're being strategic. You're protecting your hormonal balance, your brain function, your mood, and even your ability to feel like yourself. Think of sleep as the silent architect of your vitality. You won't see it building, but every morning you'll feel the foundation getting stronger. Tonight before bed, try this: turn off the overhead lights, breathe slowly, remind your body we're safe now. Let's rebuild. You deserve that kind of rest, not as a reward, but as a right. Secret number 4, what you eat talks to your hormones. Every bite you take is a message, and your hormones, they're always listening. You may not think of food as a language, but when it comes to testosterone, your meals are constantly sending signals, either supporting hormone production or quietly shutting it down. Let me paint a picture. Imagine your body as an engine. Testosterone is the oil that keeps the gears turning smoothly. But if you're fueling that engine with sugar, alcohol, processed foods, and empty carbs, you're clogging the lines. Your body spends more time cleaning up than creating. And when that happens, testosterone takes a back seat. Now, I want to tell you about Leon. Leon is 59. He's a former trucker from North Carolina. Salt of the earth kind of guy. Told me straight up, "Emily, I ain't giving up my bacon." Fair enough. I never asked him to. But Leon had been feeling sluggish. His doctor mentioned borderline low T, and Leon started noticing changes, afternoon crashes, no real interest in sex belly fat that wouldn't budge. We didn't start with restrictions. We started with information. I explained that diets rich in refined carbs and alcohol can spike insulin, and high insulin suppresses testosterone production. I showed him how trans fats, like the ones in fried fast food, increase inflammation, which stresses the body and lowers hormone output. And I reminded him that cholesterol isn't the enemy, it's the raw material your body uses to make testosterone. The problem isn't fat, it's the wrong kind of fat. So we made a simple shift, not a diet, just better signals. Leon started eating more eggs, real eggs yolk and all. He swapped out soda for lemon water, added avocado to breakfast salmon twice a week, and a handful of almonds instead of chips. His favorite change grass-fed beef once a week, cooked by his grandson. In 4 weeks, Leon said, "I don't need a nap every afternoon." And let's just say, the wife noticed. That's the power of natural hormone support through food. So here's what to remember. Healthy fats like olive oil, avocado nuts, and fatty fish support testosterone synthesis. Colorful vegetables provide antioxidants that protect your hormone-producing cells. Protein builds muscle and reduces blood sugar spikes, which keeps testosterone steady. Processed sugar, on the other hand, hijacks your energy and stresses your hormonal balance. And alcohol, even in moderate amounts, can increase estrogen while reducing testosterone over time. Your body doesn't need perfection, it needs consistency. 1 or 2 smart meals a day repeated over time will do far more than chasing every trendy diet. And here's something deeper: when you nourish yourself, well, you're not just feeding your body. You're telling yourself, I matter. I'm worth taking care of. Food becomes self-respect. And that respect gets mirrored in how your hormones respond. So tonight, maybe skip the second drink. Add an extra veggie to your plate. Swap the packaged snack for something that came from the earth. Testosterone isn't made from mystery powders. It's built from real food and real decisions, one bite at a time. Secret number 5. Intimacy isn't a performance, it's connection. For many men over 50, the idea of intimacy becomes more complicated than it used to be. You might notice a quieter sex drive, longer time to arouse, or just less interest in the whole thing. That shift can feel frustrating, even a little embarrassing, especially if no one ever told you it was normal. But here's the truth. Testosterone doesn't define your ability to love, to connect, or to be close. What matters most now isn't performance, it's presence. Low testosterone can absolutely affect your desire, but it's not the villain it's often made out to be. What really disrupts intimacy after 50 is the mix of stress, shame, and silence around how you're feeling. When a man starts pulling back physically, it's often not about his partner, it's about a loss of confidence within himself. He wonders, what's wrong with me? And instead of opening up, he shuts down. That emotional distance can hurt more than the physical changes ever did. I once worked with a man named Richard, a 64-year-old widower, who had recently started dating again. He was deeply caring, attentive, but confessed he avoided physical closeness out of fear he wouldn't perform like a man should. That quiet fear had kept him lonely even in company. We talked about how intimacy isn't a test to pass, but a space to enter with honesty, not pressure. And slowly he began to shift the question from, am I enough, to can I just be real? When intimacy becomes less about pressure and more about safety, something beautiful happens. The body relaxes, the mind softens, and the heart gets room to speak. And interestingly, that emotional openness can increase testosterone production. Because feeling safe, loved, and grounded reduces cortisol, the stress hormone that competes with T. In other words, intimacy isn't just the result of hormone balance, it's part of the pathway to it. So, if you've felt distant, unsure, or less interested lately, give yourself grace. Talk to your partner. Ask for closeness that isn't defined by performance, maybe a long hug, a slow evening walk, a moment of laughter in the kitchen. Those moments rebuild connection, and connection heals more than any supplement ever could. Because when you stop measuring your worth by what you do in the bedroom, you finally create space to feel fully alive in it. If you've made it this far, take a deep breath. You've already done something powerful. You've chosen to understand your body instead of judging it. You've looked beneath the surface of fatigue, low drive, or quiet shame, and asked, what's really going on inside me? That takes courage. And it's a sign that your strength isn't gone, it's simply evolving. Aging doesn't steal your manhood, it refines it. Your body might not recover like it used to, but it still knows how to heal. Your energy may ebb and flow, but your power now lies in awareness, not force. This chapter of life isn't about chasing youth, it's about becoming more fully yourself. So here's one gentle thing you can do tonight. Take a quiet walk before bed. Breathe in the air, feel your feet on the ground, and say to yourself, "I'm still here." Let that small act be your message to your body: we're not done yet. We're learning, we're building, we're growing into something steady and strong. If this video brought you comfort or clarity, go ahead and hit like or subscribe, but only if it truly spoke to you. And if you'd like, share your age or where you're watching from in the comments. You'd be amazed how many men are walking this same path beside you. You are never alone in this journey. You haven't lost your strength, you're finally learning how to own it.